Hello, hello! Welcome back to my channel. This is my second video. If you watched my previous unboxing of this kit, welcome back. Today, the kit I'm gonna be talking about is Margot Morella's Asul. I have a full-time job, so I just do this diamond painting thing and this video thing as a hobby, as I previously mentioned. I didn't even think about doing any videos until I came across this kit in full crystal because I really don't know what this kit looks like in crystal. Nobody online talks about it, so I thought I would do it myself. And my commitment is to pretty much always do my videos in 4K so that you can see these kits, these beautiful canvases in its full glory. So if your internet and laptop allows, or computer, feel free to turn it on to the highest resolution. Well, first thing first, a little bit of a spoiler alert. I started working on this kit on her face first. The reason is that I came across a post in a diamond painting group that was discussing this exact kit, and they were asking about anybody has any idea about what this kit might look like in full crystal. I responded saying that I actually had a video that I recently just unboxed this and talked about what the crystals looks like. And turns out this person, funny enough, exactly asked this question because they've seen my video. So yeah, we started talking about it. I think most of the concerns around this kit is because people don't know how the skin tone would look like. Because I previously mentioned, there's really limited color range and resolution when you do kits in crystal, just because it's much harder to have so many color choices in crystal because the way they are made. So I made a friend from this discussion. I decided to work on this kit from her face and keep you guys posted. So without further ado, let's unravel her and show you what her face looks like so far. So this is what her face looked like so far. Let me take off the plastic film I left on to protect. It is got some quite pink color on her cheek, but I think that just looked like, you know, a girl having her blush on, which is quite fine. There's some green crystals here above her head from the original image, which I will put around here. It's probably basically a rendering of the green flower above her head. And this is her cute little nose, and these are her lips. So I think the rendering got most of the detail onto the canvas, and when it's colored in full crystal, I think it looks pretty good. She's extremely shiny whenever I walk around her. She reflects lights from all different angles, so this is definitely gonna be my crown jewel in my collection of completely diamond paintings. And when I say crown jewel, I kind of pun intended because of how many crystals she has. And then I ventured a little bit into the areas where there's basically the background flowers. I think this rendering looks pretty true to what the original drawing was like. One thing to know, which I'll also elaborate more on later, is the color printed for each grid on the canvas. The color is a little bit different from the crystal that I actually end up putting onto them. Especially when I was working on her skin tone or some of the flower. For example, this is a really light blue, but the crystal that I ended up putting on, as you can kind of see here, is quite a little bit different. And then most of the concern people had around skin tone is how it's too pink. So I also show some draws here in a moment, see whether the draw itself matches the color on the canvas. But long story short, I would say, yes, it looks a little different from what's printed on the canvas. It's probably like a super saturated color version of the original artwork, but I still think it looks good. So now on to discussing why I think the color looks a little surprisingly different when I was working on it. Let's see, I pulled the color number 6, which is 150. 150 is actually the lowest DMC number. Oh, by the way, I should give an honorable mention to this tray I printed, because I found this Thingiverse file that's like diamond painting bag holders, and I was like, oh, I need that. So I printed that with the 3D printer recently acquired, and I made it into 2 colors just for fun. And it really helps when I'm working on kits that are already kitted up in baggies, so I can just hold them like that instead of kitting up in a bunch of trays. So yeah, this is 150. This is like a basically really, really bright red. But on the canvas, because it's a number 6, it looks more like a coral red. Yeah, I would say it's not far off, but it still surprised me sometimes when I grab a color according to the symbol, and this is what it looks like. You see the difference. So overall, I would say this is kind of like a Diamond Art Club mystery kit in the sense of what you see on the canvas might not necessarily be the direct result of what it will look like when you complete the artwork. You basically get to see the art come to life if you put on the drills, but it's not exactly like Diamond Art Club mystery kit because you still know what the artwork look like before you start working on them. One nuance I have noticed though, I know when I was unboxing this kit, I said the printing is pretty clear, not much of a chance to mistake what the symbol printed are. But while I was working on them, I did notice that the letter O and the letter Q could look quite similar. Stuff like that, that makes me think if they were to attempt doing a mystery kit like Diamond Art Club does, it could be a bit of a difficult because at that point, there is no color on any of the grid, then it becomes much harder to differentiate two symbols that look different because on this kit, the O and the Q is two pretty different colors. So even though I'm like, this looks like a O, but then I look at the background color, it's a different one, then I don't really mistake them for this kit in particular. But if it's a mystery kit where the canvas is completely black and white, I think I run a risk of that. So I would say the printing is good enough for a normal kit, but it probably could be improved if they were to start doing some mystery kits, which I don't know if they are. Not many companies does that yet. So yeah, this is what it looks like so far. I'll rotate the canvas a little bit so you can see her from a different angle. But other than that, the next video where I talk about her is probably when I finish her. It's round, so it will probably go fairly quick. So yeah, if you like the information I provided so far, please give the video a like. I appreciate that. Any comment, I read every single one of them. Oh, one thing to note is the crystals, their size is consistent as far as when you're looking at them, but it's not super consistent that if I were to use this tool, which I try because I wanted to get them really straight, you know, blame my OCD. But if I was to use this tool, some of them don't go straight through the holes in this tool. So that's just something to note. And when I was ordering the kits, I told you guys I ordered this kit in Pro Crystal, the other kit, June Bloom, in rounds. And later on, I was considering ordering squares, but as you guys know, DIYMoonShop has very different prices for square kits versus round kits, usually by $20, $30 depending on the size. So I eventually emailed them and asking why the price difference, are they both resin drills? So what they told me, which is a good information to know, especially for myself, is that their round kits are acrylic drills, but their square kits are full resin drills. So that is the actual reason for the price difference. But I'm pretty happy, as I said in last video, that the round drills are pretty high quality. So I don't really mind that they're acrylic. So anyway, that's it for today's video. It's probably rather short. But I'll keep you guys posted how this goes on my Instagram. If you want to go ahead and follow, I'll link it down below. Hope you guys have a good day. And if you want to shop their sale, you gotta go. It's ending tomorrow. Bye.